in my domain. Got the whole crowd screaming out our name. It's a blowout, it's a hurricane. It's over before you know it. While you shaking, we're a dynasty in the making. We're the royalty. Now we're breaking down the enemy. Move over for the soldiers. Take a swing, I can take a hit. If we die, it's fine. We live for this. It's all for this. We're gonna stand on top with our hands in the sky. Gonna raise our cup to the stadium lights. For the glory, for the glory. We celebrate with the city tonight. Hear the hometown cheer, it's the ultimate high. For the glory, we do it for the glory.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome here as we prepare for race number 17 of the season 6 of the NNSCRA Hersheys Cup Series. We are getting ever so close to the end of the regular season during the portion of the season that we dubbed the chase towards the chase for the championship. And we've now entered into the realm of 10 regular season races remaining until we will determine the 16 drivers that will battle it out in this season's playoff system. Now, we've got a number of drivers up to this point that have made very clear cases for themselves to make it into the playoffs, but there's still plenty of opportunity for a driver that may not have won a race yet this season but is doing well in the points. They could pop themselves up into one of those 16 positions, and there's also a couple of drivers that we could be keeping our eyes on probably for the remainder of the regular season to see if they can stay in the top 30 in the points with the wins they've accumulated so far. We got one driver that starts on the pole here tonight that's 35th in the standings. That's L Alvarise, our winner from the Coca-Cola 600 at Charlotte. He's got to make his way back into the top 30 in points. He's got good starting track position here tonight, but also D Voyles, who went to victory lane last week at Darlington. He moved up to 30th in the point stand, so he's right there on the cusp, but he needs to get himself a little bit more real estate away from the danger zone. And how about two-time winner Dylan Young this year, 28th in the points coming into this race? They really need to get their season turned around to stay away from the danger zone, because it doesn't matter if you have one win, it doesn't matter if you have 10 wins. If you're not inside the top 30 in the point stands by the end of the regular season, you're not battling for a championship in the playoff system. But as we get set for tonight's race, take a look at the first two rows, especially drivers that I would say they're not desperate, but they certainly could use a trip to victory lane tonight. L Alvarise, we already mentioned, a second win would certainly help him to get back in the top 30 in points. Alongside of him, highest running driver in the point stands without a win, actually the only driver in the top 10 in the point stands without a win. That's rookie Jordan Anderson. He's trying to become the third rookie to go to victory lane this season. How about a former champion in K Mathews rolling off there from the third position? He's 16th in points. A win would put him into a chase position. And J Srigley, let's get the command first, and I'll cover Srigley.
Drivers, start your engines!
But J Srigley, he's 11th in the point stand coming into this race, but still looking for his first win of the season. It's time to give you your top 10 the points coming into tonight's race, presented to you by Golden Corral. And I thought for a moment there, it looked like K Mathews was having trouble there coming off the grid, and I was afraid he probably wasn't going to get to take the green. Looks like he's all good to go. So your top 10 in points coming to this race, Joshua Collard, the rookie, is still the points leader. He's grown his points lead to over 40 points now over Dylan Poteet. Jordan Anderson, third in the point stands, as we mentioned, only driver in the top 10 without a victory so far this year. Zachary Fitzwater, his teammate, is fourth, with two-time winner Alex Drayton currently in fifth. The rest of the top 10 in points, all former winners from this season: Anthony McCrury, Brandon Gonzales, T Walch, J Arndt, and K Shearer. We will document who the drivers are currently that would hold the 16 slots in the chase for the championship coming into this race momentarily. But it's a Chevy SS on the bottom, a Chevy Camaro up top, and they will be leading us down to the green flag. We've had not Wreckfest so far this weekend, but we've had one caution in the Truck Series race, two cautions in the Pizza X Series race. Let's see if maybe we can go into a long green flag pit strategy race here tonight. We're going to find out. As the green flag's in the air here in Arizona, let's roll. How anxious are these drivers going to be here while everyone's bunched up to try and gain as much track position as possible? K Mathews going to move to second. J Gilbert looking to move to third. A lot of rumors coming out of that 98 team that J Gilbert, this may be a one-and-done season for him, that he may not be returning to that 98 car next year. And if that 98 team has a charter, they do have a team and a car lined up, does Seth Colbaker Motorsports, for next year. They have not revealed who that will be, though. 08, 09. That's the drivers that run 1-2. Both blue machines, both Chevy SS's. Two different teams, though. The 08 out of CJ Racing, the 09 out of Retro Racing Enterprises. And the caution is out on lap number 2 for the first time here tonight. So these two are battling it back to the start-finish line to see who's going to lead under yellow. Looks like it will be the Chips Ahoy Chevrolet of L Alvarise. And that didn't take long for the yellow flag to rear its ugly head, but I'm assuming it was something towards the rear of the field, because I'm looking back from first back to around the 25th position, and I didn't see anybody that in any way looked like they were in trouble. Oh, the points leader, Joshua Collard, was caught up in this first wreck, along with fellow Camaro Benjamin Miles, who is out of this race. So that is going to probably put smiles on a lot of different drivers' faces that were trying to run down the current points leader. Looks like they're going to try and get the damage repaired on that Fanta Chevrolet. Got some other drivers back here with some damage. Dylan Poteet second in the points, so maybe he doesn't have a smile. He was trying to run down Collard for the points lead, but he's also sustained some damage, as has defending champion Trent Dunham, as well as the 7 of Johnny Gardner. It's like Gardner is going to stay out with that front and rear end damage. Trent's coming to pit road along with Dylan Poteet. It's not exactly been a great follow-up season so far for Trent Dunham this year, following his championship season last year. Granted, he is currently situated 12th in the point standings, so he's been consistent, but only one top 5 in his last 16 starts. Caution's out for the first time tonight, though. Let's take a look and see what brought out this yellow flag for the first time this evening here at Arizona. And I was correct, this was somewhat near the rear, and it looked like something went wrong on the 33 of Joshua Collard. Just before the replay started, the 33 was in a 3-wide situation and all of a sudden seemed to lose a drastic amount of speed heading down into turn 1. So he may have very well gotten run over by Trent Dunham, not intentionally, but there may have been a very large difference of miles per hour going into the first corner that certainly could have led to the contact made between Trent and Joshua. So that's what happened to them. Then you look further up here. Now these drivers had all been able to avoid the wreck. Now let's go to the 7 of Gardner here and see just exactly how this one was triggered. Oh, it was teammates. Teammates out of Fitzwater Australia Racing. Gardner down there on the bottom, Fitzwater down on the apron. And Fitzwater's trying to come back up, and didn't look like Gardner really gave him much room, so Fitzwater had to kind of take the real estate. And up to this point, Gardner has it saved, and then right there when the right rear tire hits the apron, that's when it snaps around on him, and absolutely nowhere for Benjamin Miles or Dylan Poteet to go, as they got swept up in it. Dylan Young got a tiny piece of it there with the right front, and there may have been a little contact with the front grille area for James Richardson. Looks like Charles Sanford may have been able to come to a stop and not get involved, but obviously a tough break for a couple of these drivers. Now, you look at some of these drivers that got involved, and they're drivers that we look at coming into this race that more than likely are going to battle in the playoffs. You have Collard, the points leader, former winner. Dylan Poteet, former winner, second in points. And also Benjamin Miles, a former winner, 11th, or make that 13th rather in the points. So they could afford a race that didn't go their way here tonight. But certainly I'm pretty sure they didn't want that to happen. So that's what brought out the caution. Let's go back now for the green flag. Lights out atop the pace car. Green flag will come back out on lap number 7. L Alvarise the leader over K Mathews. J Bryant now up there in the 3rd position. A Drayton currently runs in 4th. S Gallighan in 5th. Shane Lake currently is scored in 6th. He's the highest running rookie right now. Kat Batson is in 7th. 8th place is T Walch. 9th J Srigley. And running 10th is J Gilbert. Already 2 drivers out of the race after the incident. We saw the points leader Joshua Collard, so his points lead could very well be eaten into today, and Benjamin Miles will finish in 42nd place. Dylan Poteet and Trent Dunham both got their cars, and I say this in air quotes, repaired. They are hoodless, but they are back still on the lead lap at the tail end of the field. As green flags back in the air, L Alvarise will get us underway, and now with a single file restart, this might be now when we're going to start to go into a long green flag run, so now we're going to get a pretty good idea of what everybody has in terms of the strength of their race cars. J Bryant's got a strong car on restarts apparently. He's going to get 2nd place away from K Mathews, and that opens up the door for A Drayton to now challenge for 3rd. L Alvarise doing some mirror driving there, blocked the advance of the 22, and look at right there, that run he got off turn 4. That Chips Ahoy Chevrolet is fast, no doubt about that. Now they're side by side for 2nd. 3 wide situation, that's for the 4th position. Little rubbing doors between K Mathews and Shane Lake as Kat Batson forced the issue into turn 1. Drayton, he's going to take the 2nd spot now. Now the battle is on for 3rd. That's going to be a 3 wide situation. T Walch goes low. There's Daniel Voyles. You see him there, that blue and gold Hyundai Sonata on the inside line, who won last week at Darlington. Moved him up to 30th in the point stands. Needs a good run tonight to follow that up and keep himself away from the danger zone as he attempts, just 1 week after getting his first career Hersheys Cup Series win, to make it into his first Hersheys Cup Series playoffs. But he got kicked way up to the high side right there, and now he's going to have to try and find his way back to the bottom. Cody Smart, great run there for the 12. I gotta say, there's some drivers that are running decently in the point standings that I actually just noticed looking at the points here coming into tonight's race. And Cody Smart's actually one of those drivers. Cody Smart comes into this race 23rd in the points. You think of the season he had last year where he was dead last in the point standings for most of that year. That's a pretty good season he's having now in that 12 car. 23rd in points, that's nothing to sneer at. That's pretty good. Another driver that I saw was having a very decent season coming into this race. I just saw him back there mid-pack as we're watching this battle for 4th place now go to K Shearer. But how about Kyle Keith? Kyle Keith, former driver in the Hersheys Cup Series, came back this season driving for William Brock Motorsports. He's 15th in the point standings, 3 top 5, 6 top 10s. He's done a really good job so far in that Target Chevy Camaro. Top 3, nose to tail, all Chevy SS's. Alvarise, Drayton, and Walsh. All former winners this season as well. Alvarise winning at Charlotte, Drayton a 2-time winner this season, and Walsh winning at the road course of Sonoma. And then you throw K Shearer into the mix there as well in 4th place. He's also a former winner from this season. How about CJ Racing? They got 3 of their 4 cars up here in the top 4 right now. 1st, 3rd, and 4th. I was going back looking as well at former winners at this racetrack. The inaugural race at Arizona for the Hersheys Cup Series was back in Season 3. Back in Season 1, this slot would have been taken by, I believe it was Tennessee Super Speedway, and then the following year, this slot was at Springfield Mile, where we're going to be going to somewhere in the next few weeks. So the inaugural race was in Season 3. Winner of that race was J Bryant, and we saw Bryant up here towards the front near the end of this race. He's now faded back outside of the top 10. Season 4, this race went to Joseph Srigley, and we saw Srigley also at a point up near the front here. Season 5, last year, the defending winner of this race coming into this one was, believe it or not, Trent Dunham. who eventually went on to win the championship. Tim Walsh getting second place away from Drayton. His teammate K Shearer has done the same, and now Drayton in danger of losing the, what would be fourth place to Cody Smart, and now fifth place under contest is Dallas McIntosh to the inside. How about the 14? McIntosh, Daytona 500 winner, trying to pick up his second win of the season. Last time that a Daytona 500 winner won more than one race in a single season, it was last year. Chris Dodd won the Daytona 500, and I think it was about 4 or 5 weeks later, went to victory lane, I want to say at Texas. McIntosh comes into this race, currently situated 19th in the points. A lot better than he was a few weeks ago, where he was starting to slip down towards the danger zone. And he's the only driver so far for Sega Motorsport that has gone to victory lane this year. A team that last year produced a champion. Benny Watson moving by Shane Lake. That, I believe, is for Rookie of the Race position, as well as 7th on the racetrack. We got 3 rookies actually lined up here, all behind each other. Watson in the 24 in 7th, Lake in 8th, and then there's Jordan Anderson currently in 9th. There's Bryant, the inaugural winner here at Arizona. He's back in the 10th position. We mentioned 3 of the CJ Racing cars running 1, 2, 3 now. 4th one right there. Chris Dodd in the 88 trying to get up here towards the top 10. He's, I think, somewhere scored around the 16th, 17th position, I would say. But all 3 of the CJ Racing cars that have won this year are all running up here currently in the podium position. Trying to break that up is the 12 of Cody Smart. Go back to Cody Smart's season last year. 36 starts, 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s, but he finished dead last in the point standings. You think about the year before that, during season 4 of the Hersheys Cup Series, that was when we had the non-charter system as well. Cody Smart that time was a 3-time winner in the non-charter system. 3 wins, 6 top 5s, 7 top 10s in 25 starts. So this is more like the Cody Smart of old that we're seeing here tonight and pretty much during this season. Leon Alvarise, though, this is certainly what he needs. I mean, right now, if he can get to, I think, lap 28. If he can get to lap 28, he will have led the most laps here tonight, which could be a very valuable bonus point for that driver. Last week at Darlington was definitely not a run that Leon Alvarise needed. He finished that race in 40th place. And that dropped him down to 35th in the point standings. He needs a good run here tonight to get him back into the top 30 in points, so his win at Charlotte would count towards a spot in the chase. Matter of fact, I'm trying to remember, Leon Alvarise is a former 2-time winner. I want to say it was back in season 4. And that is the case. Yep, he was a 2-time winner. Went to victory lane at both Atlanta and Pikes Peak. He wasn't high enough in the point standings that year to get into playoffs, so I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, although I know he had a win back in, I think it was season 2, so he may have made the playoffs that year. Yeah, he did. Okay, so if he does get a second win here, or if he does make the playoffs anyway, it would be the second time that Leon Alvarise in his career has been in the playoffs in the Hersheys Cup Series, going all the way back to season 2. How about Cody Smart, though? He has broken up the teammates. Got by Shearer, got by Walsh, and now he's setting his sights here on Leon Alvarise. His teammate Dylan Young, a 2-time winner this season, only driver out of that stable that's gone to victory lane so far, but Cody Smart trying to change that here tonight. And that Velveeta Ford Fusion looks really, really fast. As a matter of fact, let's see who's laid down the fastest lap time so far here tonight. Cody Smart's second fastest lap time with a 29.328. The fastest lap time, Kyle Mathews, 29.296. And that's about 3/100ths faster than Cody Smart's fastest lap. Rest of the top 5, you got Kyle Keith with a 29.3, and then 29.4s by Keith Batson and J.T. Bryant. So right now, based off lap times, the fastest car on the track would be Kyle Mathews. Tim Walsh starting to fade back as Benny Watson following in the tire tracks of Dallas McIntosh. They just now cracked the top 5. Walsh back into 6th. Lake in 7th, and here comes J.T. Bryant there in 8th. So 2 of the young motorsports cars looking really good. The 12 is in 2nd, the 22 is in 8th. What about the team owner and the only driver so far to have a win for Young Motorsports, Dylan Young, 2-time winner. Talked about him down near that danger zone coming into this race. Where is he? Did I miss him? I didn't see him. Oh, there he is. I was looking for the Universal paint scheme, and he's driving the Chicago Cubs Champions scheme, and he was last time by scored in the 23rd position. So definitely not quite up to par with his teammates, that's for sure. Here's a good battle. That's for 5th place. Tim Walsh, rookie Benny Watson. Walsh gets it by a nose at the line. And with the completion of that lap, L Alvarise has locked up the bonus point for most laps led here tonight. But he's also got a rear decklet full of Cody Smart. Also keep in mind, we had the caution come out on lap 2. They went back green, I think it was on lap 7. That left us with a remainder of 48 laps to go in this race. We've been green since then. These drivers may have to start thinking about green flag pit stops. Now, I'm not rightly sure what the fuel window is. The Pizza Hut X Series race, they were able to make pit stops under the caution flag. So that didn't give us a clear, definitive answer of just how far these drivers can go on fuel. Now we may get an idea, and that might be the answer right there. Trent Dunham and Dylan Poteet are on pit road, and I'm assuming this is the start of regular green flag stops. They are the first 2, which is kind of surprising due to the fact that they were on pit road for crash damage back on lap 2 while she was on lap 3. But is this the start of the green flag pit stops? Yes, it is. Cody Smart, he's coming to pit road. He'll give up the 2nd position, and now the cycle begins. It's like he's the first car that's going to hit pit road of the drivers that are up to speed. Nobody else coming to pit lane this time, as they were 3 wide there for 2nd place. Walsh, Shearer, and McIntosh battling tooth and nail there, and sounds like L Alvarise got out of the throttle. Here comes the leader to pit road. Walsh is in, Shearer, Watson, and that's going to turn the race lead over to the 14 of Dallas McIntosh. So while he may not cycle around as the leader, I think the caution may be out. I think the yellow lights are on. Yes, they are. The caution flag is waving. And I believe that a number of drivers hit pit road just when that yellow flag came out, and I think they'll be able to get their pit stop done and get out ahead of the pace car. So this is a big time caution for these drivers. They got to get their pit stops done quick and get out of pit road before the pace car comes back around out of turn 4. The pace car is right now exiting turn 4. I think these drivers are going to make it. Wow, that caution came out at a good time for some, bad time for others. Where in the world is Cody Smart going? Gracious. Just went on the apron to go by everybody. I mean, I think he's still on the lead lap, but now Dallas McIntosh going to lead them down. So now the question is, with all those drivers that came back onto the track, are they going to cycle down around these other drivers that are on pit road? We're looking at L Alvarise, who came to pit road as the leader, will come off pit road, I think, as the leader. Are they going to get to pass all these drivers that are coming to pit road here? They should. And I think when we go back green, it should be the CJ Racing contingency out in front 1, 2, 3 again. Alvarise, Walsh, and Shearer. And it looks like that is indeed how they're going to score them. So, let's take a look and see what brought out the caution. It looked like there may have been some teammates getting together again. This time it looked like it was the 51 of McCloud and the 31 of Poteet. And then we'll come back and reset the running order as we will restart with less than 20 to go here at Arizona. Focusing here on the 51 of James McCloud. Now watch up ahead of him. Remember, Trent Dunham and Dylan Poteet had just come to pit road to start the pit stops, and Trent's going to merge up the track. Boy, merged right up in front of Kat Batson. She hooks Trent Dunham in the right rear, and that sends him up into James McCloud. So that wreck happened, but we also had a follow-up wreck, apparently, that involved the 0-2 of J Shelton, because she's currently still sitting on pit road. Oh, Dylan Poteet runs into the back of the 70 and shoots her right up in front of the SiriusXM Chevrolet, and that's a hard head-on lick for J Shelton. And Shelton is one of those big-name drivers coming into this race that's down really close to the danger zone of possibly losing a charter for next season. 38th is that danger zone, and Shelton came into this race 37th in the points, so not the run she was looking for here, as she got caught up in a bit of a follow-up wreck, which resulted in the green flag pit stops that were going on here at the Arizona Speedway. But now let's go back. I think the caution flag came out at a time where the field's not really going to be jumbled up. It's just a matter of drivers pitting under green and drivers pitting under caution and drivers pitting when the yellow flag came out. So let's go back, reset it for you guys, and get set for a race that's probably going to be a fight to the finish now. And by fight to the finish, I mean drivers now basically, with the adjustments they were able to make on pit road, it's going to have to see them through to the finish. I don't think pit stops will come into play in the closing of this race. Trent Dunham will be a bit of a hindrance down low. He is a lap down. But here's the way they line up for the restart. After all of that, with that yellow flag coming out, the timing of the yellow flag puts L Alvarise back out in front. Teammates Tim Walsh, K Shearer right behind him in second and third. Levi McIntyre is now up to fourth. Fifth is Benny Watson. Sixth, Joshua Ciculli. Seventh is R Reynolds, J Srigley. Eighth, Emmanuel Hartnett's now up to ninth. And 10th is J Gilbert. J Arndt is in 11th. 12th, Anthony McCrury. 13th is Cole Baker. 14th, Jordan Anderson. 15th is now Cody Smart. 16th is Dallas McIntosh. Rest of the top 20 is J Bryant, Daniel Gilbert, Shane Lake, and Keith Batson as the green flag is back in the air. Out of the race after the incident we saw take place, Dylan Poteet. Trent Dunham is 2 laps down. And it looks like J Shelton, Kat Batson, they were able to get their cars repaired. They are still scored on the lead lap. So Cody Smart was the first driver to hit pit road. He restarts back in 15th. Dallas McIntosh was the first driver to pit when they were under pacing, under caution, as we have a lead change. Tim Walsh to the top spot. He restarted back in 16th, and L Alvarise was the first driver to come to pit road when the caution came out, and he restarted as the leader. So 3 different drivers, 3 different areas of restarting, all due to the timing of that yellow flag, and Alvarise now starting to fade back. He's back to 4th place as Tim Walsh now to the race lead. Of course, we documented the long winless streak Tim Walsh was on, going all the way back to season 1 when he took that checkered flag at Sonoma. Tim Walsh in his career has never gone to victory lane multiple times in a single season. K Shearer right behind him. Same can be said for him. He went to victory lane in his rookie year last year once. That was at Dover, and so far this season has gone to victory lane a total of 1 time, and that was, of course, the second race of the year at Rio de Janeiro. We talked about J Shelton being so close to that danger zone of maybe not having a charter heading into next season if she finishes 38th or worse in the regular season standings. Well, you're looking right now at the driver that comes into this race 38th in the point standings, Levi McIntyre, so a well-needed run for him. McIntyre looking for his first win of the season, and if he's able to get it, we may be looking at him to go on a kind of a quest that we've seen Benny Watson, L Alvarise, and Daniel Voyles be on, of trying to get into the top 30 in the points. He's looking for the lead here on the inside of K Shearer. Now I should point out, of the drivers I mentioned coming into this race that are former winners at this track, J Bryant, Trent Dunham, and who was the other one? J Srigley, that currently two of those three drivers are Ford drivers, and one of the former winners at the time here was a Ford driver, and that was J Bryant back in Season 3. So the Blue Oval looking for its second win in its history here at this racetrack. But L Alvarise has now fought his way back up to second, and here comes one of those former winners, Srigley, our winner from Season 4. He's now up here trying to get his second career win at this racetrack. How about Emmanuel Hartnett? This track could very well be considered a home track for him. Emmanuel Hartnett from New Mexico, a neighboring state to Arizona. And he's going to follow L Alvarise. Alvarise goes to the lead. Hartnett now moves to second. Emmanuel Hartnett comes into this race 22nd in the points. Dropped 4 spots in the standings after a poor performance last week at Darlington. Looking really good, trying to get Toyota Camry what would be their first win of the year. Of course, there's only 2 Toyotas in the field each week, both out of Fire Ice Racing, and here comes Hartnett for the top position. You're starting to see now drivers not content to ride in second place. They want the lead because they're realizing they may not get a caution to save them, and it's pretty much going to be down to the wire of who's got the best race car now as to who's going to win this race. I was thinking they were basically going to have to fight L Alvarise for it. That seems to have been the case in the last 10 or so laps, but a number of drivers have taken a turn out in front, including McIntyre and now Emmanuel Hartnett. And there goes T Walch now by his teammate. He'll move to second. Emmanuel Hartnett so far this season, only one top 5 finish in his first 16 starts. Trying to look for his second, but trying to get even more than that, trying to get a victory. I believe the last time Emmanuel Hartnett went to victory lane, I want to say, was back in Season 4, and it was at the dirt track of DuQuoin. I'll look and see, but I don't recall him having a win in Season 5. And nope, that's correct. So he's got an over a season winless streak and trying to snap it here tonight. As a matter of fact, I believe he's a 3-time winner in the Hersheys Cup Series, and 2 of those wins came at dirt tracks. He won at Eldora, he's won at DuQuoin. I'm trying to recall where his first win was at. Got some slower traffic they're going to catch here as T Walch has reeled Hartnett in. Trent Dunham there in the 1. I believe that's Jessica Shelton in the 0-2. And Trent's going to hold up the inside line for the moment. Excuse me. Look at the 3 car of Brooke Allen now up to 3rd. Where in the world did that Chevrolet come from? Brooke Allen in the closing stages might be looking for her second career victory. Very quickly makes her way by Trent Dunham, and now she's reeling in the top 2, bringing rookie contender R Reynolds along with her. Top 2 nose to tail. Oh, Walsh peeks out. He's there to the left rear quarter panel going into 1. Look at all the former winners we got up here, Walsh and Allen, but we've also got drivers looking for their first win of the season, Hartnett and Reynolds. Walsh with the top spot. Allen trying to take second. Looks like she's going to clear Hartnett coming off turn 4. And by the way, going back to Emmanuel Hartnett, he is a 4-time winner. He had a 2-win season back in Season 1, winning at Rockingham, North Carolina, and Indianapolis. So he has 4 career wins in the Hersheys Cup Series, but the last one, as we mentioned, back in Season 4. Brooke Allen, a few weeks ago at Richmond, she picked up her first career Hersheys Cup Series victory. She's now looking for her second. Trying to get by Tim Walsh, and she's going to get a nice run out of turn 4 at the line. Half a car length, give it to Walsh, but she will have the preferred inside line going into turn 1. New leader is the 3 car. Brooke Allen obviously having a career year, 14th in the points. 1 win, 2 top 5s, 4 top 10s, and now looking to put a crooked number in the win column. This time by 4 laps to go at Arizona. Does anyone have anything for the 3? The 3 all of a sudden seems to have shot out of a cannon, found something they really liked with that adjustment, and Brooke has picked up numerous spots. She didn't even start inside the top 10 on that last restart. Tim Walsh has been up front for a few times here tonight. Can he get back up to the bumper of the 3? Last time by was about 0.4 of a second separation from Brooke Allen back to Tim Walsh. This time closed it up by about 4/100ths. The draft is certainly going to play a factor here, I should think, in the closing stages. Reynolds right now rookie of the race position in 3rd. That I think would be his best finish of the season. Srigley there in 4th place, and then a few more rookies. J Gilbert in 5th, Benny Watson 6th, and how about Daniel Gilbert? Michael Norman Motorsports coming up here towards the front in the closing stages. He's up to 7th. Back up towards the front. Status quo, the gap between Brooke Allen and Tim Walsh as we have 2 laps to go. Trent Dunham is hitting the stripe right now on the front straightaway. The leader is on the back straightaway, so slower traffic will not play a factor into the outcome of this race. It's basically what you got, and you got to use it here with 1 lap remaining. The gap does not close between Brooke Allen and Tim Walsh. A lot of rumors that Brooke Allen not be back next season in that 3 car for Michael Norman Motorsports. So maybe trying to make the best that she can in what could be her swan song season. Down the back straightaway, still 4 car lengths in hand, back to Tim Walsh. Brooke Allen, talk about coming from out of nowhere. She's going to capture her 2nd career victory, 2nd of the season. Brooke Allen takes the checkers here tonight at Arizona. They were 3 wide coming across the line for 4th place. Srigley just besting R.J. Reynolds and Daniel Gilbert. But Brooke Allen, it took her, 3 seasons to get her first career win, and now it's taken her only 5 races to get 2 trips to victory lane. And with coming into this race 14th in the points, I think this win will very easily catapult her into the top 10 in points. That right there could be yet another driver that has locked herself up a spot officially in this season's playoff system. Got a car coming to pit road there with front end damage. Kyle Keith in the 29. Don't know what happened there. Whatever the case, it doesn't affect the outcome of the race. I would be very curious to find out just exactly where Brooke Allen restarted, because I know for certain it wasn't in the top 10. And that 3 car came to life there in the closing stages, and after getting the lead from Tim Walsh, nobody could catch her. Walsh had a strong car, but Brooke Allen was just a little bit stronger. So Brooke Allen gets the win. Tim Walsh will have to settle for 2nd. J Gilbert gets rookie of the race with a podium finish of 3rd. Joseph Srigley brings it home in 4th. And how about R.J. Reynolds? Great run for him in the 5th position. 6th place, that's going to be Daniel Gilbert. Daniel Voyles in 7th. So this will help him to pad a little bit of a cushion between himself and the danger zone of 30th in points 1 week after his victory at Darlington. Benny Watson continues on his streak of good finishes. He's going to get 8th. J Arndt also with a great run. He's going to finish in 9th. So good run for a couple of the drivers out of Flying Aces Racing. And Cody Smart, how about a good run there for that 12 car? He's going to finish inside the top 10 in that 10th position. Charles Sanford, we saw him come to a dead stop to miss the first wreck of the night. He'll bring it home in 11th place. Keith Batson, great run for him in 12th. Jordan Anderson will finish in 13th place with Emmanuel Hartnett, who was out in front near the closing stages of this race, got shuffled back to 14th, and Shane Lake will finish the evening in 15th place. The rest of your top 20 were Brandon Gonzales, Alex Drayton, Levi McIntyre, Joshua Ciculli, and Chris Dodd. We saw the CJ Racing cars up near the front for a majority of this race. Tim Walch was the only one to really stay up there in second place. You look on down, you got Chris Dodd there in 20th, but how about L Alvarise fell back to 23rd, and where in the world did K Shearer go? Shearer fell all the way back to 33rd place. So not certain what happened with him. They must have made an adjustment he did not like, and it certainly affected him in the closing stages. As you look on down through the remainder of the finishing results, 2 drivers finished off the lead lap. Shelton 1 lap down, Trent Dunham 3 laps down, and 3 drivers out of the race after 2 cautions this evening. Dylan Poteet, Joshua Collard, drivers that came in first and second in the point stands, I might add, and also Benjamin Miles finishing in 42nd place. As I look at the point standings, the one driver that could have really capitalized on this situation with Poteet and Collard out of the race would have been Jordan Anderson, but he only finished in the 13th position. So he will at least have closed up the gap between himself, Collard, and Poteet, but not by a whole lot, I don't think. Another driver that I think will have definitely capitalized on this and will gain some positions and points would be Tim Walsh. He came in 8th in points, finishing 2nd, and J Arndt, who came into this race 9th in the point standings, finishing in 9th. But Brooke Allen could very well have joined Dylan Young and Alex Drayton as a potentially locked-up driver in the chase for the championship, with her 2nd win of her career as well as 2nd win of the season here tonight at Arizona. Hope you guys enjoyed tonight's race. If you did, be sure to give this video a like, subscribe to become part of the crew today. We have shown you your full figure results. These are your rookie point standings and your overall point standings heading into next week's events. I say events because we're going to 2 different venues for all 3 of our series. Trucks and Pizza Hut X Series action will be coming to you from Iowa, but we will be going to the dirt track of the Springfield Mile next week for Hersheys Cup Series action. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you'll tune in to all 3 events. It'll be coming up soon here on the NNSCRA Sports Channel, offline racing at its best.